सर्वं मम देव देव जे उत्पत्ति स्थिति लय करे वेदोस्तुति उच्चरे जैनारोम सुछिद्रमाणुसमा ब्रह्मांड कोटि फरे माया काड़ रवि शशि सुरगणो आज्ञानलोपेक्षण एवाक्षरधामना अधिपति श्री स्वामी नारायण जनियमृतवाणी तो वहिरहि साक्षात् महिमा रूपे जनी ब्राह्मी स्थिति अहोलि न करे सुभव्य अक्षर पदे शरणागत निज अल्प जीव सहुना श्रेयार्थ तत्पर रहे काका स्नेहल सिंधु दिव्य विभुने हयो तो वंदन करे सजानंद स्वामी महाराज नी जय जय जय। आज के आनंद की जय जय जय। सद्गुरुदेव की जय जय जय। गुरुहरि काकाजी महाराज, गुरुहरि पप्पाजी महाराज, बंधु बेलड़ी शताब्दी पर्व महोत्सवनी जय जय जय। प्रगट ब्रह्म स्वरूप हरिप्रसाद स्वामी महाराज नी जय जय जय। प्रगट ब्रह्म स्वरूप जसभाई साहेब जी नी जय जय जय। प्रगट ब्रह्म स्वरूप अक्षर विहारी स्वामी महाराज नी जय जय जय। प्रगट ब्रह्म स्वरूप मुकुंद जीवन स्वामी गुरु जी महाराज नी जय जय जय। सर्वे गुणातीत स्वरूपों नी जय जय जय। So last week our Kiran Ben gave what we call in our Indian game Kho-Kho. The next person to speak was Pintu Bhai. So Pintu Bhai has to finish their Kho-Kho again before he goes to Europe or before that. Do you have somebody in mind, beta?
It shouldn't be not next Friday because we have doing this Friday Kakaji's birthday, but it is for 16th.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this person is going to get double time to prepare.
Right? No? It's a challenge, we'll take it.
Otherwise, ice bucket.
Yes, I think.
Who?
Bhavish.
Okay,
Nana Bhavish.
very good.
16th of June.
Somehow you are not visible clearly, that's why I asked you. But there is not enough light maybe? All right, that's okay. Now I know. So our Nana Bhavesh Bhai will prepare one Vachanamrut and come, and whatever method you want to use, this modern technology or 15, 20 years ago technology or 200 years ago technology, whatever. But very good, beta. Saras select karjo Vachanamrut. So, this Vachanamrut, Gadra first is the Vachanamrut where Santos, saints in the time of Swaminarayan Bhagavan, started collecting the Vachanamrut information for us. And it is very interesting, that when we got this new BAPS app, they have collected data from various sources and given more detail to each Vachanamrut. So from Ram Navami, on the birthday of Lord Ram, they loaded this app. And I started reading it and I enjoyed. So what I'm doing is that they have minor corrections, typo and other things. That as I'm going, I am sending them email, 2, 3 email every day. Whatever I find as typo corrections, I send them. And about second or third email, they responded me, that okay, I'm forwarding this email to further corrections. I have not heard anything back yet, but I keep sending, email, and I have a bunch of maybe 100 emails so far, going to them. But they are not very big mistakes, just small typo and corrections. But if they want to make it a very good book, or very good app, it would help them, That's what I think, And I'm very humbly, sending them requests. Not that we want to say that, haha, I got you. Not like that, Our intention is, we are all together and we want to make it a better and better book, So when I read this first Vachanamrut, that is giving a situation or incidents in Gadda during that time. And what this Vachanamrut says, that Swaminarayan Bhagavan was sitting in his Aksharordi front area on the bed at the about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Muktanand Swami was singing a song with a particular rag, particular melody, which is called Bihag rag. And he started singing that. So Swaminarayan Bhagavan looked around and he saw that there are dozen of kings, they were sleeping. Because back then there were no lights, Once it gets dark, people start selecting to sleep. And this was 3.5 hours after, or 4.5 hours after the sunset. So they were sleeping, So those who were sleeping, they said that Brahmanand Swami is singing this. They were just guessing, And someone said, why Brahmanand Swami is singing? Because Muktanand Swami would not sing that loudly. His voice was very low tone voice. But Brahmanand Swami would have a loud voice. So, even though Muktanand Swami was singing, they guessed wrong, as Brahmanand Swami. Then there was one devotee, a king or a devotee, from the western part of the country. His name was Devji. Swaminarayan Bhagavan told him that, why don't you go and find out who is singing this? Swaminarayan Bhagavan knew it was Muktanand Swami. But somebody else mentioned about Brahmanand Swami. So to clarify, he just said, why don't you go and see who is singing? So he went another maybe couple of 100 feet from the place, maybe more, 400 feet maybe. That's where the place for the saints were. That's where Muktanand Swami was singing. So then this person went there And he came back with again, Brahmanand Swami as the answer, not Muktanand Swami. So he came and said that Brahmanand Swami is singing. So rather than proving him wrong, Swaminarayan Bhagavan said, let's go and hear in front of Brahmanand Swami what he's singing. So Swaminarayan Bhagavan came and saw Muktanand Swami. All the other saints were sleeping. Only Muktanand Swami, with his eyes closed and in love and affection, as if God is in front of him, he was singing. And at that time, another of his devotee, Adharanand Swami, he was also supporting this song. So when Swaminarayan Bhagavan came, they saw Swaminarayan Bhagavan, so they both got up to welcome and respect. And they spread the bed sheet right in the middle of their area for Swaminarayan Bhagavan to sit. Swaminarayan Bhagavan sat there and he asked, who is singing? We have come here to find out. All the saints started saying that all normal routine Muktanand Swami sings and he is singing. So Swaminarayan Bhagavan says, I have lot of liking to these songs, prayers and bhajans, and I cannot get fully content, I keep listening and listening. And that is how we have the liking of giving the discourses also. Just like singing bhajan, we want to have the same liking in discourses also. And Swaminarayan Bhagavan says, that is what it is described in this chapter, So this is one incidence. So now the question is asked by Muktanand Swami in this Vachanamrut. This is the Gadra first Vachanamrut. And the question is asked that a devotee of God, when he dies or she dies, what type of form of body he acquires or she acquires and then goes to the abode of God. So that was the question Muktanand Swami asked. So why this question is asked? What is the background? What is the reason? So there is an explanation in this app. So Swaminarayan Bhagavan is answering in this Vachanamrut that by the wish of God, he acquires the special spiritual divine body. And then he goes to the abode of God. Just like a person who goes to the moon has to have a spacesuit, otherwise he would not survive. Same way, a devotee of God who goes to the abode of God acquires a spiritual body, Brahma Maitanu. So reading this question answer, we would think that at the middle of the night, when Swaminarayan Bhagavan goes to see Muktanand Swami, why Muktanand Swami is asking some out of the reference question about somebody dying and how that person is acquiring what type of body. What is the link between this incidents? So there is an incident which has happened, and that is what it is explained here, that Muktanand Swami had asked the question that how to have the constant attachment with God and how to get rid of the worldly attachments. So here it says that there was some discussion before that which was about the constant and continuous attachment to God, which Swaminarayan Bhagavan asked this question. And when the turn of Muktanand Swami came, continuing into that answer and question, Muktanand Swami jumped into a different question, that when a devotee of God dies, what happens? So there is no connection between these two. But There is a reason why this question was asked. So what happened is that the sister of Dada Khachar, or Laduba Jivuba's sister, Panchuba, she had a 5-year-old daughter. Her name was Hiraba, and she was sick. And it was very serious sickness, and everybody became very worried, and they gave the news to Swaminarayan Bhagavan. So this Panchuba, the sister of Dada Khachar, was on the south facing of Dada Khachar's darbar, and Swaminarayan Bhagavan went there and gave her solace. Swaminarayan Bhagavan's method of giving solace is different. What Swaminarayan Bhagavan said, that this, your daughter, Hiraba, was Brahmin in a previous birth. This birth she is in warrior class, Kshatriya, Darbar. But Swaminarayan Bhagavan says that she was Brahmin in the last birth. And when we were traveling throughout the India, we had gone to her home. We had taken some food from her home. She had done a lot of service to us. Because of that good deed, she came and have a birth in this satsang. And her desire was, when I was traveling and I was seeing her, at that time her desire was to have the constant and continuous tuning towards me. So, for that, we have given the birth here. Now she has taken this happiness, this pleasure within her first 5 years. She does not need any more now. So we are taking her back to the Akshardham. We think that, oh, it's too early, Why so early? But this is Swaminarayan Bhagavan. This is his master plan. So, he tells the mother that you don't need to cry. What a different way of explaining, Because we would say so many other things, she had done this good thing and she was doing this good thing, and we should not, worry about, whatever God desires, we should be happy and this and that. Swaminarayan Bhagavan goes back and saying, to make her pleased, that she had a desire, she came for a purpose, purpose is done, she is going. Just like we come to America and first job we get, first savings we get, and we buy car. And it may be a used car, And maybe we have paid like $300-400, There was one person who did that, back in 60s when I was, working. So I heard that story. So he bought that car. And then a year later, he got more money. So he wanted to buy a better car. So he put a sale sign on that car, and a buyer came. And he sold for, he bought for $500 and he sold for $300, So they were all happy. But the person who sold the car, before giving the key to the buyer, he says, let me come out, So he comes out with this guy. He goes to the car and he gives the big hug to the car. Oh, my dear, you have given me good company for whole 1 year, and I am very, very sad that I am losing you, Just like some dearest family member, So that is our feeling. But at the same time, he is getting a better car, So we swing between the emotions, and this mother was also swinging with these emotions. Swaminarayan Bhagavan did not tell her who she was, and what are her past, lives and other things. There was no need. But this woman at least got the divine inspiration. So, after saying this, Swaminarayan Bhagavan went to his place, Aksharordi, and right away the daughter passed away. Hiraba passed away. And everybody started crying in the darbar. Even though those who have elevated and renounced, they could not pass with 100% marks, during this difficult time of test, So, Swaminarayan Bhagavan heard the crying noise of all these women. So he said, who is crying? So then Murji Brahmachari says, the daughter Hiraba has passed away, so everybody is crying. Swaminarayan Bhagavan says, I have taken her to my abode, Akshardham, for a very small seva. And she got this big lottery. So this is a good occasion. Why are they crying? They should celebrate. So Swaminarayan Bhagavan became somewhat unhappy, saying that all my saying, all my telling is not still imbibed within, Whatever is the old habit which pops out, So, after leaving this, then the devotees of Dada Khachar followed the routine not to cook the food in the house. They would cook very low caste, low type of food, And they would serve everybody with that food, It is giving the indication that we are not happy, So, they even served Swaminarayan Bhagavan the food that was not appropriate for Swaminarayan Bhagavan. So, that is why Muktanand Swami is asking this question, that a devotee of God dies, he goes to the abode of God. That is what Swaminarayan Bhagavan said, that she went to the abode of Akshardham. So what kind of body that devotee acquired to go to the Akshardham? And then there is another relation. The Harji Thakkar, who was raised by a Muslim family, but was born to a Brahmin family of this little girl when she was a woman. So, Harji Thakkar is also asking question, Dada Khachar's sister Panchuba's daughter Hiraba, when she died, Murji Brahmachari went to take the food for Swaminarayan Bhagavan. In the food they gave badku. Badku is the very simple and very unimportant type of food that they prepare during this type of occasion when somebody dies. So they gave that to Swaminarayan Bhagavan. Murji Brahmachari brought that, and Swaminarayan Bhagavan asked Murji Brahmachari that we have never eaten this. What is this? So Murji Brahmachari got confused, that what should I say? Then he remembered. So he said that Hiraba has gone, she has died at the age of 5. So they are in sorrow, and that is why they have made this, or they may have made this, So Swaminarayan Bhagavan smiled and said, how many days this is going to go on? So Murji Brahmachari says up to 13 days, or 14 days, at least. So this thing really touched to the preparation of food for Swaminarayan Bhagavan also. So Swaminarayan Bhagavan had established in Gadada for last 16, 17 years. And even doing all this satsang, Harji Thakkar is asking the question that these people have given up their married life, Laduba Jiuba, and they are in the service of God for 16 years, and still they have attachment to a 5-year-old girl that they are not able to prepare proper food for Swaminarayan Bhagavan. So Harji Thakkar is asking that question, that people have attachment to their bodily relations, how come they do not have the same relations with the God and His devotees? So, Hiraba was, in her previous birth, the mother, Janbai, of Harji Thakkar. And she was born as Hiraba again in this birth. So, understanding that, Swaminarayan Bhagavan is giving the answer. So, Harji Thakkar, knowing that he was the son of this girl in the previous life, is not disturbed. But the other relatives are disturbed. So, this is how whole atmosphere had become kind of sorrowful. So, this is the background of this Vachanamrut. But I think we are getting close to the time, but I want to answer our Kishanji's question, that he asked Pintu Bhai, Maybe you want to repeat one more time so that, Kishan?
How does Pintu Bhai engage in himself and God?
So how does Pintu Bhai is engaged and is engaging in the form of God? And Pintu Bhai tried to answer also. So, there are a couple of things maybe, we can all benefit from that question, First of all, in our mental frame, we have the name of God, maybe picture of God, maybe story of God. And that God may be Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Shiva, any other that we believe as God, or any other belief, like Allah in Muslim, or Jesus Christ, Son of God in Christianity. So, whatever we are fed in our lifetime, we have selected some form of God which is more appealing to us. So, that is good. The next part is hard. Now we have come to satsang, and now we have a thirst, quench, to communicate with that God. And we try to communicate with the God. Those who have worshipped Ram, they want to see Lord Ram, and then they would be satisfied. Even Mahatma Gandhiji, he had 3 goals. One of them was to see God by his eyes while he is still alive. And I would guess that his satisfaction was because he was mostly singing bhajan of Ram, and he was maybe believer of Lord Ram, and he would be always dreaming of Lord Ram. But now, Lord Ram is also particular type of picture of Lord Ram that we have in our mind. With the arrow and bow, with the crown on the head, with his wife Sita on the side, Lakshmanji on the other side, Hanumanji on the other side, other 2 brothers on the side. Then we would say, yeah, this is Ram. And about 20 years ago, we had that serial by Ramanand Sagar, Ramayana, and they had these guys, actors as Ram. And I heard that even they go to see on a TV screen or on a bigger screen, they offer flowers and other things to that Goel. What was his name? Arun Goel. They would offer that. And they would be satisfied. But then something happened. One day, they saw Arun Goel in a place eating, in a restaurant eating. So some of the people, out of their respect, they went there with the garland and flowers. When they saw on their dish there was a chicken and the eggs and the meat, they were really confused. Because in India it's believed, that God would be vegetarian. And rather than flowers, they threw stone. Same Ram in the picture. So, when our mind is not fully tuned, even Lord Ram comes, we will not accept. We will doubt, we will question. So, this scenario is going on for a long time. Only few who are really elevated, like Tulsidas or Sukadevji, they would realize God and they would see God in everywhere, in everything. But we cannot reach to that height that easily. So to your question, Kakaji, our master, gave a very master, powerful technique to us. That when he used to come here, he was telling us, and that is what we are practicing and remembering. He said that Lord Swaminarayan, who came 200 years ago, is not here now. And you are going to look the physical form, it would be very difficult to have that physical form manifest for you again. It may manifest in your dream or in your daydream, maybe, but in conscious mind it is very difficult. Maybe some people could do that, but not everybody. So Kakaji was saying that Swaminarayan Bhagavan, you would have very hard time to see in a human form. But if there is a living hierarchy of that Swaminarayan Bhagavan through the saints, then those saints are carrying the qualities, the virtues, and the magnanimity of the same Swaminarayan Bhagavan. And if you see that in a living Gunatit saint, and if you really put full faith, then you would have the same enjoyment, same happiness as 200 years ago, or 5,000 years ago, or 10,000 years ago, or 2,000 years ago, whatever God you take. So initially when I heard that, it made good sense, but our own mind is still saying that how can we, compare, it's different. So then Kakaji used to say in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Bhagavan is telling Arjun that you have to recognize me not by my mere form, but by the inner essence, tattva. By the tattva, by the essence, you have to recognize me. And those who recognize by that essence, then it doesn't matter what God does or what God does not do, He still does not change the faith. And that we have to transform into the living master. And I remember in my own life, Kakaji had done or asked me to do certain things, and there were certain very difficult to do things, but somehow I said yes. Somehow it happened, I did, and he was very pleased. So once you have that rapport, once you have that, connection, then it becomes a very solid base. And even after Kakaji's passing away, which was in 1986, I cannot say that the type of mature understanding I have today was there in 1986 also, But between 86 and today, with the company of all the Gunatit saints who were in company of Kakaji, all his devotees, all his other members, they have given me collected strength and collected maturity to this level today. So it is a process, and we have to go through that process. And quicker we get, better result we get, and better, achievement we get. So this is how we communicate with our God, So I communicate with God, that I have told many times, that I like doing dhun, And when I do dhun, first thing I go, wherever I am, to the murti, the picture in Vakigan Mandir, that's Samnana Bhagavan and Gunatitanand Swami. So that's where I start, And then I just start thinking of the past incidences with Kakaji and other Gunadit saints, that how I became very fortunate to be in the company. And more I think, more and more depth I get. And that is how the progress happens, Our Vibha Ben is here also, and she was in the 1981-83 time frame, in the company of Kakaji also. And she says right now, that she was so different at that time compared to today, And that is all because, she has gone through all this process and all this, procedure, to remember those things and elevate from where she is to the higher level. The other way to recognize God is by the company and association of his members and devotees. Kakaji is gone from 1986. But by having that kind of trust and respect with the other Gunatit saints, other Kakaji's devotees, can help a lot also, So those are the maybe techniques, that we can practice and we can benefit, We are getting close to the time, but today Pintu Bhai made very nice presentation, what, why, how, and I think if somebody can maybe, access to that, you would have more detailed understanding, so try to, read that. This explanation that I spoke in English is unfortunately in Gujarati. Now, those who cannot read Gujarati words, they have put in Gujlish also. But it is English alphabets, but it speaks Gujarati, So, if you need anything more help, we are here, we can help you, But what I have found, that this new app has a lot of good information. Wherever there is a bold letter, if you touch that, then it opens up the meaning of that or the history of that. Also, there is a orange lines, If you touch that, it also gives more detailed information, And also there is a nice search facility and all that, So, it is very nice, app. And I finished going through whole Gadara first chapter. Then I finished Sarangpur. And now I'm in Karyani, just finishing up that. So 3, Vachnamruts sections, I'm just finishing up. So I have a goal to finish up, by this year, maybe if I get time and everything, so that at least I go through the whole book, one more time. So those of you, who also have time, try to read, It's in English also, there is English side, but not all these detailed explanations. They have not gone that far yet, I hope one day they would do that. But They have done a lot of good research and they have some pure, understanding of meaning in this app, which makes our understanding also elevated and firm. So it's very nice. And I'm very happy that they have done this. Okay, so we have more that we can go, but I think we are getting close to, the 10 o'clock time frame. So if anybody has any question, maybe we can talk for a few minutes. Otherwise, Melanie is using swing for the cold. It's a little bit warm, right? Yeah. We have opened up the windows or they are not open?
Yes, windows are open.
Windows are open, okay. We are saving energy. At our home also we have turned off the air conditioner. At work, at Discipline Mandir also air conditioners are off. So we want to be green energy wise. Anybody has any question or anything? Want to know more? One more thing that they were explaining. Tomorrow, our Jitu Bhai and Daksha Ben's two lovely boy and girl, Dhara and Bhavya, they have graduated and there is a graduation ceremony tomorrow at 3 o'clock. If anybody has time to come, then maybe contact them, and they would be happy to see anyone who would come there. We went our Brahmi and Smriti's graduation, and we were over 20, 25 people there, that was good. So these boys have done a lot of good work, good things, and we want to just give them a push. Did they have a sabha for kids downstairs today? No, okay. Huh? Disha is down? She's doing sabha, right?
Kids are not here.
Okay. Right, okay. I just didn't want to ignore them, If they had, I could have gone there. But if they are not there, it's okay also. Okay, Vibha Ben raised her hand. Why what? Why there's a blockage? So I can ask you a question. For you, is there a blockage? Okay, so then you can explain to him. So you don't want to get up, you want to be still lazy if he is shaking you up. Well, rather than searching and, grading others, we should just do for ourselves, Okay, where am I and how much more I have to go. So others are on their own spiritual path. Swamiji is powerful, he would do that. So we should just go more advanced and more higher and be happy to ourselves. But if Sahaj is asking, and if he is waking you up, તમે ઢંઢોળ કહ્યું એટલે કહું છું.
I mean, he gets so like frustrated and I'm like, calm down and you can take the horse to the water, but then it's up to them to drink.
But is Sahaj saying for himself or is saying for others?
I think he's talking about his best friends.
His what?
His best friends.
Right. So then right answer is that don't worry about the others. You focus on yourself.
Yeah.
That should be the
But
attitude.
then he counter argues, okay, but those are my people that I care for. How can I not? And મને કો કરું.
Well, in that case, then you have to pray for them and you have to put time for them and you have to have discourses and discussions that would help. Kathavarta is the method to elevate. I'm sure you have gone through that, Sahaj has gone through that. So the others you wish would do the same thing then also. Give them a task to read. Vachanamrut, Swamini Vato, Shikshapatri and this. So let them at least get ready. Then they would be coming with more questions, good questions. So it is nice that this Vachanamrut Friday Sabha is doing nice discussions. Our Sapan Bhai started that last year, right? He wanted to have Vachanamrut discussions. So it's good. Okay, we can talk more for Sahaj, and if he wants to come in, we can talk. Huh? Yeah. Sure. Okay, any other question? Anybody else? Okay. We'll see you tomorrow at Nishaben's place, or even before that at Bhavya and Dhara's graduation, or on Sunday, whatever your time. Huh? Jai Swaminarayan Badan. Jai Swaminarayan.